What do you feel like, or how do you feel like that matchup will go, especially knowing that he has the experience that for what it takes to go all the way?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we're both experienced. I'm actually more experienced than him in terms of the number of fights. I seen like a stat thing the other day. I've more fights than him, and more ring time or whatever. But yeah, he's obviously won it twice. What I take from that is obviously I respect him as an opponent. He looks well rounded. He's at a good gym, everything like that. So I've trained him hard.
If I'm going to come and bring it, but I think when he won it, PFL wasn't as big. There wasn't as good fight. Like, look at the level of fighters we've got now compared to back then. So yeah, I think the division's a lot harder now. It's harder to win. And maybe that's why he's not won it recently. But he is a good fighter. I've watched his fights. He's well respected. So, like I said, I'm in good shape and I'm coming to bring it.
Appreciate your time, man. Good luck in your fight.
Thank you.
Lorenzo.
Hey, Steve, it's good to talk to you again, my man. You're no stranger to adversity, and it's said that through adversity, there's a path to growth. What can you tell us that you've learned either about yourself or about the game in general since your last fight in November?
Yeah, well, what I've learned about, not really learned. I mean, I've been doing this game for a long time now. There's no very much things that, I'll feel or see in the cage that is a shock to me. I know that this is the fight game. It's the highest of highs, the lowest of lows. I did feel like the fight was starting to swing in my favor. I was starting to win the second round. I feel like I was starting to getting in my rhythm. I started, I think he was starting to tire as well. And then obviously I just got clocked with a shot, and that's sometimes part of the game. That's how it is. But last year, experience-wise, I learned a lot, and it is tough fighting back-to-back, the 4 fights. But pros and cons. I mean, but one fight at a time. I'm just focusing on this next fight to get the W. Obviously, it'd be good to get the bonus points, get a stoppage. But yeah.
We're right smack dab in the middle of weight cut day. Tell us how are you feeling, and what can you tell us about how you feel about your upcoming fight on Friday?
Yeah, no. Luckily, I didn't have too much weight to cut, so it'd be miserable if I was like a big, huge weight cutter and you're having to do all the media stuff on the day that you're cutting weight. I mean, I feel good. I've got not much weight to cut later. And I always look forward to the weigh-ins though. It's like Christmas Day. Get some of that good food.
Sounds good. Thanks so much. Can't wait to see you this weekend.
No worries, man. Thank you.
Dave.
Hey, Stevie, this is Dave here with Fight Bananas. I always hear that this is one of the toughest season formats, fighting 4 times in 6 months, and you going all the way last year. Do you think, is it a slight disadvantage of you fighting 4 times in 6 months last year and then now you fighting this year? I hear it almost takes a whole nother year for you to get back to 100%.
Nah, I wouldn't say so. The first year I ever started fighting, I fought 12 times. 7 semi-pro or amateur, and 5 pro fights all in the 1 year. I won all those fights as well, apart from the last one. I like being active, but I'm not going to lie. Obviously, it is tough. The lifestyle, having to just constantly be away training, dieting. But then there's pros and cons there. The pros, you get paid 4 times pretty quick. It keeps you active, keeps you busy. And it's just obviously, it depends on how the fights go. Ideally, you get out, you don't get injured. I was quite fortunate last year. I didn't get injured apart from the first fight I did. But you know, the last 3 I didn't. So I've had a break over Christmas. You know, enjoyed my time off. Beefed up, enjoyed the food, and back to it this year. And yeah, this might be my last year of doing the tournament. Gonna wait and see, obviously, how it goes and how I feel at the end of it. But that's just kind of motivating me more to give it everything. You know, go out there and try and smash it.
Okay. Last question for you, my man. In a perfect world, you said this is your last time in this tournament in the season format. In the end, in the finals, would you love a rematch against OAM, or would you love maybe going against Shane Burgos, kind of the new star of the division?
I'm at the point in my career, I just like the big names. I don't really care too much on Shane Burgos is probably a bigger fight for me. Obviously, I'd like to get the one over OAM. I suppose it depends on who wins. Although the money's more motivating for me, not going to lie, I'd rather take the money than the belt. But the belt is something I would like to finish my legacy with as well. You know, it's one of the only things that I've not had in my career that I would still like to have, and that's a world title in a major organisation. I won the Cage Warriors world title, but it's not quite the same level as, like, you know, some of the big organisations. So whoever's got that belt, I'd like to fight.
Sounds good. Thank you. Best of skill on Friday.
Thank you.
Patrick.
Hey, Steve, this is Pedro McCord from Combat Sports UK. How you doing today?
Good, man. How are you?
Doing well, man. You know, you're going up against a guy who's won this tournament twice. Does that change the preparation, fighting a guy who knows how to get to the top, maybe a crafty veteran in that way?
Not really, because like I said earlier, like, I think when he won it twice, I'm sure it was like 2018, 2019. It was a few years ago. Since then, you know, there's bigger names. There's, you know, PFL is a lot more global now as well. And yeah, I mean, it's like, look at Pettis. Pettis had won the UFC world title. He's got a lot of money. He's rich. It doesn't matter. I mean, when you're in there, sometimes it's just down to, obviously, who's the better skilled fighter, but sometimes it's down to, like, who wants it more as well, who's trained harder, or sometimes just, you know, is it your night? I'm in good shape. I'm ready to go. I'm sure he is as well. So, a couple of days' time, we'll find out.
And how long have you been in Vegas for now to get used to the time difference?
So I've been in Vegas. I came a little bit earlier. I came Saturday night, but I adapted like within one day. I woke up. No, tell a lie. The first morning I woke up at 4:30 in the morning. The next morning I woke up at like 7:30 again. Then this morning I slept till 8:30. So yeah, I'm pretty much on the time zone now. So yeah, I adapt pretty quick.
And last one for me. I don't know what the weather's like in Scotland right now, but do you prefer the Vegas weather to the Scottish weather right now?
Yeah, the weather in Scotland's shit. It's always is. It is right now. So yeah, I like the sun. You know, you need to be careful being out in it too much before the fight, obviously. I don't want to go in there all burnt and sunstroke, but yeah, I've been out getting some sun each day. After the fight, I'm going to be here for 2 days. I'll probably go, you know, lie, sunbathe, and eat some pizza and drink some alcohol.
Great to hear, man. Good luck on Friday night.
Thank you, man.
Great talking to you, Stevie. I think it was today, maybe yesterday, depending where you are in the world, your 8-year anniversary of being in the UFC. So my question is, how have you grown as a fighter, AKA who would win in a fight, you now or you back then?
Yeah, 8 years ago, it's quite crazy that 8 years ago I made my my debut in the UFC. I mean, I'm just glad I've done everything I've done. I'm proud of what I've achieved. And even like a couple of years ago when I kind of semi-retired, like if I did that, I wouldn't have beat Anthony Pettis twice. I wouldn't have fought in Madison Square Garden. First time fighting in Vegas today as well. I wouldn't have got all the great experience I've had with the PFL. It's been amazing since I've signed with the PFL. So yeah, but the Stevie Ray 8 years ago, he'd maybe be a tiny bit more athletic, but he'd get smashed. I'm more wise and more technical, and I've still got the athleticism.
Love it, man. Love it. And a lot of people are saying this matchup coming up is going to be grapple heavy. No secret, your opponent, big submission hunter. Are you expecting this fight to hit the canvas? And have you been preparing for a grapple heavy attack?
So yeah, I'm expecting it to possibly hit the mat. It depends on how the fight's going. I always train everywhere. If I go in and start smashing him on the feet, then obviously I'll look to try and keep it on the feet. If he looks to take me down and does get me down, I'm confident in my guard. I feel like I'm really well-rounded where, I'm not too worried if I'm on my back. I know I could pull off submissions from the bottom. I can get back to my feet. I could sweep. I know I could finish him if I get him down. I could submit him. And I also believe in my power and my striking as well. So I kind of always treat every fight the same. I'm just going to go in and try and put them away. Whether it's a submission or, a knockout or on points, I'm just going to go in there and try and win.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Stevie. Best of luck.
Thank you.
Jay, Christian.
Good afternoon, Braveheart. Jay Christian Gary, Focus Fights Audio. How are you, sir?
What's up, man? Yeah, I'm good.
Nothing much, mate. I just want to basically ask a couple of questions. First of all, you said earlier that, your dream scenario would be to win the PFL championship at the end of the season. But let's just say this. If you were to retire from mixed martial arts, let's just say after this season is over with, what would you say would be your lasting legacy in the fight game?
What would be my favorite moment, do you mean? Like, what? I don't quite understand the question.
I mean, basically what I'm trying to say is when it's all said and done, when you put the gloves in the center of the cage, what would be your defining legacy in the sport?
Well, obviously it depends on what happens this year. But if I retired right now, I would say that I'd be remembered for beating Anthony Pettis. Probably the one main thing, the top of the list would probably be Twister and Pettis, because one, it was quite a unique submission. It went a little bit viral. He's a former champion. And the fact that I needed the finish to qualify, and I got it done. So that beating Michael Johnson was obviously a big win as well. And then for me as a person, one of my most favourite times of my whole career was when I won my second fight in the UFC. I won by first round knockout. It was at the Hydro in Scotland. I had 13,000 Scottish fans going crazy, chanting my name, and and I got a $50,000 bonus as well. So that was one of the highlights of my career.
Wow, that's incredible. Now, when it comes down to this fight against Nathan Hussoshorty, I mean, what do you think are probably some of the main points you're going to have to look out for when it comes to facing him?
So, I mean, I could see the fight going. I could see him coming to pressure, trying to get a hold of me, trying to maybe get body lock, take me down, try and submit me. That's what I think he's going to come and do. He's going to walk forward like a Terminator or like a zombie, whatever you want to call it. He likes to absorb. He likes to absorb shots and just kind of try and overwhelm you with pressure. I do think when when I land one of my shots. I do think that he's not going to come forward as much. You know, when I hit guys, they either go down or go out. So I'll be surprised if, you know, after I've landed on him, if he still keeps pressuring. But I am prepared for that, just in case. You know, if I do hit him with big shots and he's still pressuring, obviously I've got a plan for that. And yeah, like I've said before, I'm going to go in and try and win any way possible. Submission, knockout, just punching him 1,000 times, winning on points. Go in and get the W.
Understood, mate. Other than that, all the best to you Friday night, and I'm pretty sure the fans over in the UK and especially Scotland will enjoy seeing you.
Thank you, man.